Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy, howdy, Sudovil here, and welcome to another match featuring the Dwarfs versus the High Elves. That has been really our focus for this past week as far as casted games. And in this match, we have my coach, Boss, playing again with a completely redeveloped build from the build that he showed me and we practiced with. So we're going to go over it and see how it does. So in this build, he's really there is no Longbeards and there are no Trollhammer torpedoes. So really that's been the gist of the build. Instead, again, in this build, it's a heavy duty ranged Thunderers build. So we got 5 Thunderers, no bolt throwers, but 3 cannons. So 5 Thunderers and 3 cannons. In his front line, just has 4 miners with blasting charges to slow things up. And in his back line, and for his troops that he's going to support the front line with, he's got 5 Dwarf Warriors. Some of them with chevrons, some of them with 2. And he also has for his heavy hitting support, Peak Gate Guard. So these hammers, he has no Slayers, no Giant Slayers. Really has these Peak Gate Guards to hit things really hard. And he does have a Rune Lord just on foot with the Rune of Wrath and Rune. For his opponent, he has 2 Shadow Warriors that are going to start immediately taking shots. They are Vanguard deployed and ready to start putting damage into the Daoi. For his main infantry, he has 4 Spearmen and just the Pure Main Company. The Pure Main Company have 2 things that make them useful, or extra useful aside from their extra stats. Is they have 15% physical resistance to lords and heroes nearby, and they also have armor sundering. So that minus 30 armor can help the spearmen get through an attack. Really, the big thing he's got is 3 Ithalmar chariots. They have 54 weapon strength with 24 bonus versus large, and he has a noble with he has the 12% missile resistance, foe seeker, and deadly onslaught. And of course he has a Lariel in the air on her hawk with the Star of Avalorn, of course, the Arcane Conduit for the magic, Arcane Unforging, Shield of Thorns, Earthblood, Banishment, Shieldstone of Isha for the 12% physical resistance, Boon of Isha for the magical damage, Shield of Safri for the 11% physical resistance, and Light Bloom for the heals. So pretty much a full load for Alariel. And we'll just see how this goes. So I'm going to get this going right away. Boss is going to start taking shots, and you can see, like, man, he is so fast. He immediately is going to turn his Thunders to start shooting back, and you can see he's going to take his cannon and start focusing on those Shadow Warriors there. And because some of these guys are in range, he's going to just get a free shot in towards them. Now the High Elf player is going to come around this side with his main troops, and he's going to come through the forest to try and protect some of his chariots. So Boss is going to get ready. Now this is the brilliance of Boss. Infantry on this side, flat, straight lines. He's already rearranging these guys into 6 deep. Like, this is so good. This is so hard to do on the fly. Like, you're going to see he's going to do it with these guys too, I believe. So I'm going to just keep an eye on this. So you can see the chariots are coming. He's getting ready. He knows they're on the way. He's getting everything targeted on them so he can get ready to actually get that fight going. And he's got these guys in that 6 deep formation, which makes him much more robust versus charges. He's going to put these guys there. He's putting these guys in the 6 deep formation. He realized they weren't. And you're going to look. These chariots all just stop. 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 This is absolutely brilliant play. And now he's totally 100% focusing on this Ithalmar chariot, and is getting a ton of damage with the Thunders that can get in there. Meanwhile, these guys have taken way too long to get here. I'm sure, I'm sure he thought he was just going to get through here and start killing stuff. So he's trying to save this chariot because he's just taking a massive amount of damage. Finally, he's got through, but it's actually going to be hard to run through the Thunderers too because they're in boxes. And now he's going to send his Rune Lord after him, and one of the chariots is just completely gone. The other Thunderer is fighting, and Alariel is going to come in and go for a charge. In comes the Rune Lord. He's going to try and slow everything down. He's got, what has he got on? He's got something cast on Arcane Unforging. And you can see the Thunderers are helping shoot this way. Everything's focused now, one thing at a time. This is Boss generally just tries to focus on that. You can see those weird animations with Alariel on her pigeon. These Ithamar chariots and the Noble are trying to cycle charge through here. They've gotten the cannon off the cannon. He's going to be able to put those cannons back on. But you can see over here, just some beautiful, beautiful play. Got the blasting charges onto this group of spearmen, and we have done this in testing. And 2 shots of blasting charging can rout 1 spearman, and he has done that. Meanwhile, he's shooting right down the pipe at these spearmen and these spearman company. And the High Elf player is trying to force path through here. Here comes a reinforcement. Here come the reinforcements. And he's going to see, he's going to put these thunders back here. He's got these thunders still shooting. Unfortunately, he's got these dwarf warriors handling 2 spearmen. They're going to be able to fight for a very long time. Way over here, Alarielle is just kind of going into the thunders as much as she can, but Orchabos is continuing to remain focused, and he's focusing now on this Noble, and he wants to get that Noble down, trying to get the right units on the right units so that he can start fighting. And Noble's beating up the Rune Lord. He really, really doesn't care too much about that. He's just got everything shooting at that Noble because he wants it to take as much damage as possible. This side of his line, it's fine. You can see he's now pulled these thunders out, and where is he going to put them? He's going to try and get them into a good firing solution to get shooting onto here. These cannons have been knocked off their cannon, so he's going to have to put them back on. These Shadow Warriors are still shooting into the side. On this side, this Noble has been brought way down, and this Chariot is having a hard time getting through these ranks. Like, just an outstanding job by Orchabos noticing this and dealing with it. Meanwhile, this other Ithamar Chariot has come back. It's going to come right into a line of fire of a Thunder that has been routed, and you can see this Noble is now being chased away by the Rune Lord. On this side of the fight, they have not been able to punch through. Really, Orchabos is being able to hold here and here, just by shifting things around. Like, he's shifting his troops around. He's got Thunders here. He's got his Thunders here shooting. These guys are now going to be able to shoot at Alarielle. On this side, the Thunders are now trying to get shots. You see they have a hard time, and he's trying to throw his blasting charges into here to the side with the Spearmen. Get shots, more shots on that Ithamar Chariot, more shots on this Ithamar Chariot. And now these guys are back online. He's got these Dwarf Warriors can get into the fight. These Miners can get into the fight, and these guys can start shooting too. You can see now he's trying 100% to get to this Ithamar Chariot, getting a ton of shots in there. Now he's gone back over to the Noble on this side. Going to try another big giant heal, but it's just, there's a ton of damage coming into that Noble. He's just not going to be able to stand up for too long. Now Alarielle is trying to get in there, trying to get into the heals for herself and get onto these Miners blasting charges, which they are going to be able to route. But this pocket, like, just amazing micro on the inside of this pocket, just to keep everything clean and everything firing. And Alarielle has been very, very disruptive, but now obviously he's coming here to deal with it, and he just pulls Alarielle out, pulls the Noble out. But now there's really nothing left on this side of the battlefield. Really, Orchabos has this whole side, really has a complete pocket like this of that's completely protected. The Pure Main are in there still fighting. Still have this Noble Chariot coming through and trying to get shots in, but it really, really won't take long. Maybe a couple volleys, one big shot from a cannon, and that thing is going to be out of commission. He's just brought these Dwarf Warriors here just in case one of these guys break through. Doesn't need to fight, just wants to have them ready to go when it's needed. And now he's shooting at Alarielle the Radiant, making sure some damage is getting to her. He doesn't mind if these guys get rear charged, but you can see he's definitely getting ready to rout the Noble, and everyone else is getting to rout, and that is the game. All right, so a very interesting build from my coach, Orchabos. He has a YouTube channel. You absolutely should go over and subscribe to him if you haven't. He's just an unbelievable player, and his skills are to the extreme side. Like, you saw, like, he manipulates his formations very regularly, which on top of any other micro, that is extremely hard to do. And you saw, as everything was coming, he just prepared the right side of his lines for those chariots by putting those things into 6 deep, because 6 deep is optimum. That slows things down the most. We've verified it in testing. We know it works, and we know by the formula or by the KV rules that 6 deep is you get the full value of your mass, and he just did that on that side, and it brought those chariots to a screeching halt. Had those units stayed strung out, they would have just drove right through them and drove through its entire line. So really, really fun, interesting battle there, and fun to see the Alarielle on her mount in the air, trying to get some damage in, because she is very hard to hit on the ground. Now, his Rune Lord only got 4 kills. That's not what his Rune Lord... His Rune Lord's not there to get kills, but I think he could have brought the Rune Lord into the Spearman, but he was really... If you saw, he was actually trying to get his Rune Lord in front of the chariots to stop them. And he's doing a pretty good job. These miners blasting charge 9, 23, 17, and 0. Not too bad for what they had to do, and they were able to rout one of those spearmen instantly. The back line 6, 0, 41, 21, and 0 for the Dwarf Warriors. Again, they were just there to hold and let his backline go to work. Only 1 kill with the Peak Gate Guard, just a reinforcement. 34, 4, 6, 4, and 3 with the Thunders. 41, 4, and 10 with the Cannons. The Cannons did the vast majority of the damage in there. Now, for the High Elves, only 24 with the Lario. 72 with the Noble. Nobles, I mean, they're so good. They're really, really good. 5, 22, 14, and 19 with the Spearmen. 70 with the Pure Main Company. They were pretty much online for that entire battle. They did very, very good. 32 and 24 with the Shadow Warriors. 10, 20, and 18 with the Ithalmar Chariots. Now, Rorquabas did a very good job at really trying to stay focused on what was within his reach and what he was able to focus down. So, you know, really nice fight and a slightly different take on the builds that we've been seeing this week. We've been seeing a lot of heavy artillery builds, you know, 6 artillery in Shetland's build, 5 artillery in Yume's build, 3 artillery in Brachycera's build, 3 artillery in Rorquabas's build against the High Elves. So really some heavy artillery builds, and all of them, no, most of them with Thunders, which are a good unit, you know. And you heard in the last episode, or the very first episode of the Grumbling Dwarf, where we did talk about Trollhammers, but briefly at the very end we did talk a little bit about Thunders as well. Anyways, I would love to hear from you in the comments as to the build, what you thought of it, you know, what you thought of it as far as strength and weaknesses versus the older Rorquabas build, where we have 6 Longbeards and 3 Trollhammer Torpedoes and 2 Giant Slayers, sort of that sort of setup, which is also very strong. So I would love to hear from you on that, because you can see the difference from the very first game of the 5 to the very last game of the 5. The development of Rorquabas's build, as he's been changing it to change the makeup according to the quote-unquote meta, as it's been changing. Because, you know, once you find really good builds with the Dao-E, it's not like High Elf players just say, oh, I guess that's it, we can't beat the Dao-E. No, they obviously keep changing and altering their builds. And Rorquabas said he found a High Elf build that was similar to this, that did extremely good against his old army, with Morgengrat, a friend of his that he does have some test and practice battles with, who's a very, very good multiplayer player as well. So anyways, I hope you found that interesting, and I will see you soon.